Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. So this afternoon, you can see I'm all shiny. I'm so happy. We've come to the end of our 12 weeks cohort, the last cohort for the year, and the team they've learned so much, and they are here today to summarize all the learnings, share with us what they've learned, their takeaways, and tell us the tools and techniques they used throughout the period and why they used it. So stay tuned and enjoy their presentation. I'll come back at the end to talk more about Pollard and what we do.
Thank you so much, Oge, and good morning, everybody. I want to first of all use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to the faculty of Pollard Consult. You guys have been awesome. For the past 12 weeks, it's been a very tedious yet rewarding experience for us. And that's what we're going to be showing today. And for everyone joining us for the first time, or you're just returning, we say good morning and we say welcome to joining us today. Just like Oge said, on this cohort, we had a project to work on, and that's what we'll be giving. I'll give you a brief background on it. It's a case study, so I'll give you a brief background. The name for this, the project owner is Leyland Property. So Leyland Property is a sole proprietor business operating in real estate rental and leasing industry. The average revenue of companies in this kind of industry is about $180,000, with profitability about 81.8%. So Leyland itself has about 1.5% market share in this industry. Leyland is regulated by the Health and Safety Commission and state governments too. They currently operate in one province at the moment, but they're actively looking at expanding their business operations. All transaction right now is manual-based. It's paper-based and can be tedious sometimes, hence the need for this project, the automation of the system. So the business is solely managed by the owner, although it collaborates with vendors and service providers to get some tasks done. He has recorded some failures in the past in managing self-initiated changes and those imposed by regulators, because sometimes those instructions come and he's not able to manage them because most of his processes are paper-based. He doesn't have prior experience with process improvement or technology implementation either. Hence the need for this automation on this project. Next slide. All right, so the situation here. The business portfolio and client base has grown over the years. And so he cannot manage it all by himself again. He needs some form of process improvement to be put in place. So the owner has experienced revenue losses, late payments due to manual payment collections in the past. He has, and even with his recording processes, there's been some issues with that. He's had problems with penalties, with fines imposed by government due to late payment of fees. That can affect any business, as you can imagine. So for this purpose, we are trying to get Leyland Property automated. So Leyland has decided to optimize and automate the organization's business processes, hire new employees to enable him improve revenue and profitability while also growing the client base. So we're going to run you through the process of how this project was done. Thank you.
The approach we adopted for this project, we categorized into three. First of all, we had the discovery phase, the solution selection phase, and the solution implementation phase. Now, during the discovery phase, this was at this time we were eliciting information from the stakeholders. At this time, we gathered information from the stakeholders. We analyzed and modeled their business processes, and we identified gaps and areas of improvement for Leyland Properties. Then at the stage for solution selection, at this stage, we went into the market to conduct a market research. And at that point, we came up with various solution vendors. And we were able to schedule demo sessions with these vendors. And we held various sessions with them. And we conducted feed gap analysis and also a cost benefits analysis to enable us identify the particular solution that is best for leyland properties. Then during the solution implementation phase, at this point, we documented use cases, user stories, test cases, test scripts, and then we conducted testing of the system that we picked after the demo sessions. We came up with a solution. We picked one of them, and then we tested the system to see if there were defects. And the results of all this various approaches that I've talked about, my colleagues Laolu and Osas is going to take it up from here and give you accurate results of each tool technique, and then the results of these test cases in the next slide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chino. So I'm going to start with the process model. Now, basically, the process model was actually adopted to be used for this project to actually visually represent the current state of leyland properties to our stakeholders. And so these actually help us to understand the end-to-end of each activity that are involved in leyland properties, from tenant onboarding to landlord onboarding and even maintenance within the company. So for the next slide here, we can see the process analysis with the use of the SIPOC tool. So basically, SIPOC basically helps us to actually further break down the activities into step-by-steps, granular form, so that we can actually understand the activities in their simplest form. As you can see on the screen, this is actually an excerpt from our document. Basically helps us to understand the pinpoint, the gaps of the current state. And of course, we were able to also come up with some possible solutions for leyland. A good thing about this project was we also came up with some quick wins that leyland properties can actually quickly use while we keep on with the software solution. And of course, one of the tools also that we use is the feed gap analysis. This basically, why did we use the feed gap? Basically to actually juxtapose between, to put side by side, the high level requirement as elicited from our clients and through our elicitation. And of course, side by side with the features of the different softwares providers that we're able to come up with during our selection stage. And of course, we came up with 3 providers. And as you can see on the screen from this excerpt, you could see that they were coded into green, yellow, and amber. So the one with the most green, kind of meets our client's objective. And with that, we were able to make some suggestions to actually go with a particular vendor. But of course, we didn't stop there. We also look into market visibility and of course the solution model that this vendor can actually offer our clients so that we can actually meet their need as we go along with meeting their high level requirement. And so I'm going to stop there and hand over to Oses to continue from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Laolu, for walking us through the techniques we used. So I will be taking you through 3 other techniques: the user stories, use cases, and functional and non-functional requirements. I'll start with user stories. User stories basically paints a scenario in solution developments that helps to ensure that the development team builds a solution that meets the needs of the end users and delivers value to the business. User stories basically have 3 phases, which is the who, which is the persona, the what, and the why, which is the outcome of the benefit. And this technique was basically used because it gives a human-centric approach to solution development. Next slide, please. Use cases describe the way each user will interact with the system based on the functional requirements. Use cases are effective ways to communicate the desired functionalities to development teams. In use cases, we basically have, it's made up of an actor and a system. Actors can be primary or secondary, while the system is depicted by this rectangular box you see here. This is an excerpt of one of the use cases we modeled for the tenant portal. We have different types of use cases, can be the base use case included or the extended use case. This is another except from the landlord portal. So can we move on to the functional and non-functional requirements, please? Functional and non-functional requirements are important in solution development because they specify the capabilities the solution should be able to perform in order to meet the business need. While non-functional requirements are the quality attributes a system should have in order to make it more appealing to users. And this could border around speed, security, and availability, and even regulatory compliance. So I'll be stopping here while Chinelo would continue with the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, so thanks, Oses, for that background. So after enlisting all these functionalities, we then need to perform some actions on the system in order to determine if it satisfies the requirements. And after performing these actions, then it will inform our decision to go live. So hence we came up with the test cases, the test scripts, and then there are a set of these test cases and test scripts are a set of instructions that would test if the functionalities and solutions are working properly. We tested the property managers portal, and there were 38 test cases. The results were passed, failed, and not tested. And some of them could not be tested because they were not accessible. So most of the test cases were high priority requirements. And we need like 95% success rate in order to go live with this project. So based on that, we recommended that we allow more time for the development team to fix the bugs associated with the high priority requirements, and we retest before we deploy the solution to production. And then we also came up with an end user guide. So the end user guide provided to the users in order for them to be successful with the service. So they are used to create account. They are kind of the first step, the things that the user would do in order to have access to the account or access to the system. So this is a representation of the user guides. It just gives us a brief description of the things we're supposed to do, the next steps to take, and the things that we should do before we start using the system. Then we also came up with a support model. So after all being said and done, we want the end users to kind of have a support system that would help them use the system seamlessly in case they experience any hitch. A support model is used by the teams to manage the end-to-end service delivery to clients. So that was the reason why we came up with this support model, so that just in case they have any kind of hitch when they're using the system, they would know where to go and who to run to.